Welcome everyone to the PYRESWAP show. I am 5, and today is Tuesday, and exciting day. It's the first day without Genesis, and nobody died. Okay, just I want to point that out that nobody died. Not only did none of us die, the project also did not die, and I know that every day that goes forward, we're gonna keep breaking mental barriers. Does that make sense? We're gonna keep challenging the way people we're going to challenge the way that people deal with their anxiety and how they bundle it into their investment strategies. I'm just being honest, okay? I'm seeing more and more of that, and I want to at least say that we continue to work on learnpyreswap.com. I want you guys to know that this it is truly becoming more and more clear to me that this is like the final boss of the project. On my end at least. Learnpyreswap.com is like the final boss component, because similar to terminal utility, it's like something on the outside that had to get built that I think not a lot of people realized what it was and what it could do. But I want you guys to understand, if you remember anything from this show, it's that persistence is omnipotence. And I think a lot of you guys are wondering why Five is so hell-bent to succeed at this. Why is Five so willing to win at any and all costs? Does that question ever enter your mind? That's a real question. I do want to know. Do you guys ever find yourself wondering why Five is so willing to win at all costs? Well, I want you to know that LearnPyreswap.com is going to answer that for you. LearnPyreswap.com will actually be the missing ingredient in a lot of different ways. LearnPyreswap.com will truly convey what's behind this project in a way that is easily understood by everybody, and that doesn't get lost in economic jargon and technobabble, which I am historically known to spew all over the internet. Does that make sense? Now, yeah, that's what I want to say. Now, another parallel that I want to draw is how, for some reason in Web3, and again, I don't have any beef with Sonic Labs. I don't have any beef. I don't know anybody there that still works there, at least. And if anything, I have friends that are Phantom validators. That I have friends that are still Phantom validators. They're still validating Phantom to this day. I want you guys to know that even Sonic Labs, they're still supporting things like Phantom Scan and the Phantom Foundation website for like until the end of 2026 or some shit. Does that make sense? Like, those things are still going to be around. I don't think they expect to kill it completely in the first 90 days. Do you guys understand? I don't think they know what the fuck is going to happen, because if they did, this would not be decentralized finance. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It is antithetical that oh hey, the founding organization is able to literally just copy, paste, and kill another chain, and we're going to go around saying this is decentralized. Cronje, by the way, is also very, very ideologically clear on what centralization and decentralization are as well. At least that is what I gather from reading his Twitter activity. But I want you guys to understand, and this might be a cultural thing, I want to talk about something called Windows 11. I consider going from Phantom to Sonic the same as going from Windows 10 to Windows 11. Does that make sense? I cannot think of a more clear analogy and parallel. Like, I understand that there are some features that are better. I understand that the performance is better. At the same time, if your marketing and your proposal is, hey, we're gonna fucking kill Windows 10, therefore you need to upgrade to Windows 11, I have a confession to make. Can I confess something to you guys? While my father was born in Europe, I am culturally American. Does that make sense? Culturally American. I served in the United States military even, okay? And I want you to understand that maybe in Europe, it's culturally acceptable for the government to tell you, hey, you're not doing X, start doing Y. But in America, that makes your blood boil. Does that make sense? That just doesn't fly here. That you can't get people in America to take a vaccine. You can't get American people to drive the speed limit. You can't get America to obey any law that gets passed here. Does that make sense? It's just not compatible with the ideology that framed this country. Does that make sense? Javery, exactly. Javery, exactly. And when you, Javery, do you use Windows, by the way? Do you use Windows computers? Yeah, so Javery, when you hear about Microsoft and the way they're pushing Windows 11 and like they're just, that it's just so un-American. And I know that, by the way, a lot of the leadership at Sonic Labs, they're not Americans. I believe that none of them are. Okay, I think the 3 of them that I know are not Americans. Does that make sense? Maybe there are a few Americans, but the 3 that I can think of are not American, okay? And because they're not American, I think that maybe they're just misjudging the way that Americans react to this type of shit. Does that make sense? Now, the Phantom Validator I know, well, hey, yeah. Fexer, exactly. Again, it's just like, I don't like, yeah, this is just the wrong way to give somebody an upgrade. Yeah, Fexer, yeah. I'm irritated hearing that story from you. And again, I'm just saying that this is a blockchain too. This is like an OS that everybody shares, right? And it's also got still millions of dollars on it. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, they can migrate all they want, but there are still millions of dollars here. There is still more volume on Phantom than there are in, like, actual countries. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, as a blockchain, there's still just... There's, like, broken USDC volume that's, like, getting more revenue a day than, like, entire... you know what I mean? Like, not like first world countries, but, like, third world countries. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like... And that matters. And that matters. Like, it's not death. It's not decay. Yeah. Javery, there already has been a considerable shift in volume. I saw the other day it was like 40 million on Sonic and like 5 million on Phantom. That's already. But Javery, I want you to know something. I was looking at Polymarket today. Do you guys know what Polymarket is? Who here has heard of Polymarket? Okay. So, Javery, would you believe, do you guys know how Polymarket works? I think it's actually a good thing to talk about. Polymarket works where you can be the bookmaker for any bet. And you know what being the bookmaker is on a gambling site? It's a lot like being the liquidity provider on a DEX. Does that make sense? You're providing for both positions. If you want to bet for, let's say there's a basketball game. If you want to bet for one team or bet against that team, you are in fact providing the USDC for both outcomes. Do you guys get what I'm saying? You are the bookmaker and you have a market making equation. The same way that XY equals K works for liquidity, casino websites use very similar calculus. Making sense? So would you believe, Javery, that if you go on Polymarket, you can actually see bets that have fake volume? Like right now, you can watch a basketball game. I want to say it was the Phoenix Suns against Charlotte Hornets. And if you go and look at the people betting, it's being botted. I'm not even joking. Like, they use bots to fucking make bets trending on Polymarket. Do you guys understand what I just said? Yeah. So, Javery, I want you to know that when I see volume, I have to... Okay, I still give a fuck about the coin that the volume is in. Does that make sense? Because... you should not really compare, right? When we talk about Solana having more volume than Ethereum, does that make sense? Right? Do you guys know that? Let's look at Dex Screener right now. Let's pull up Dex Screener. Right? You see Solana beats Ethereum in volume these days. Right, exactly. It's like, this is something that people use to confuse people, but $1 is not always $1. There's always context you got to look at. So guys, look at right now. We have, I see Pyre Phantom has a little tumble, but it's okay. You guys see that Solana here? You guys see that Solana, you guys see that Solana, right? How do we even do this? Anyways, you guys see that Solana, the 24-hour volume is 31 billion and Ethereum is 2 billion. Does that make sense? So Solana has 15x the volume of Ethereum. Everybody sees that? Do you want me to show you again? Here, I'll write on the board. Here, I'll write the full chain name so you guys know we're not talking about the coin. Okay, so Solana has 15x the volume that Ethereum has. But you know what's funny? What do you guys think the gas cost for a transaction is on Solana? It's like a penny, right? It's pretty cheap. Who here uses Solana? Does anybody know? What is the average transaction cost? I guess I can look that up. Very low, like Phantom. Okay. Okay, so literally, AI says it's roughly 3 pennies. Okay, so if you look at 3 pennies though, and you're to look against Ethereum, how much is the average Ethereum gas cost right now? Right, if we're gonna go look at resources or whatever, what is it called? More. Okay, we look at gas tracker. Okay, so the average is 14.9 Gwei, and of course I literally, okay, there you go, $1.08. Do you guys see that? So right now it's $1.08, and maybe I should look at SolScan actually. Hang on. Okay, SolScan.com is for sale. Is it SolScan.io? What is the, yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay. And if we're going to do resources, or is it analytics? Wow. Okay, average fee is this. Okay, I can't, okay, that's still, okay, that's still like a penny, right? Okay, Otis is $18. Well, okay, there you go. Well, the point being is it looks like it's less than a penny compared to over $1, right? Does that make sense? So the point being here is that even if Solana has 31 times the volume, you have to understand what is the majority of volume on Solana coming from. It's coming from meme coins, right? So you have 31 billion in volume coming from meme coins where gas costs a penny, whereas gas costs over $1, and apparently Odin says $18 right now, and it's still 2 billion. So if you understand, why am I pointing this out? I want you guys to know that like there's always a terazu. There's always a cost to benefit. There's always a ratio. If you guys remember me talking about this book, ratios in finance make them meaningful. So when you look at just these two numbers, you're like, oh, well, that's 15x the volume. Well, it's 15x the volume for pennies of transactions, meaning gas is at least 100 times cheaper. And then on top of that, this volume is coming for projects that are going to die. Do you guys know what I mean? Like these projects are all going to die. 99% of them. 99% die in the first day, right? And then like legitimately, I would still expect that even projects like Brett and Dog with Hat also wouldn't really just, I don't really expect, unless people start building stuff for them, it's just not, they're going to go the way Bored Ape Yacht Club went. Does that make sense? Do you guys get it? Like, I mean, okay. All right. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, like, Alessio, yeah. Like yeah, exactly. So it's probably like $5 for a swap. But Alessio, that's the exact point. Meaning people are willing to justify 2 billion of daily volume at $5. Does that make sense? And if you're paying $5 for here, where you're paying half a penny over there, that's 5,000x. Or sorry, that's 1,000x. Meaning there's still, in theory, more people are willing to pay 1,000x the cost of volume here based on the reward. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So like just because this number integer to integer is higher does not mean that like, oh, therefore Solana is a more valuable ecosystem. Does that make sense? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like I want you to know that there's you can think of it like comparing a country like the United Arab Emirates to Saudi Arabia. Make sense? So the United Arab Emirates, everybody's fucking rich, right? And like they all, I don't know. Do you guys get what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is that even though there's just restaurants and casinos and I don't know, like hyper commercialized things there, that doesn't mean that their economy is worth more than Saudi Arabia's. Do you guys understand that? Yeah, like it's cool that you guys have those 100, it's cool that you guys have a Lamborghini. But then also like over here, there's a kingdom that goes back 1400 years. Okay, let me see what Alessio here is posting. Oh yeah, well you know why it's different? You know why it's different, Alessio? Because DeFi Llama, I think, only measures DeFi. I don't think they care about yeah, I have no idea why it's different, but I think it's also possible Alessio, DeFi Llama only tracks things to projects that okay, you go to DeFi Llama and you like, I'm not a dev, but you literally do something in the DeFi Llama docs and you merge it back into DeFi Llama, and that's when DeFi Llama starts tracking you. So if the meme coins aren't going to DeFi Llama and then having DeFi Llama capture them, DeFi Llama is not going to track them. So arguably, Alessio, looking at DeFi Llama is a great indication to see what is actually real versus what is fake. Make sense? Yeah, like by the way, I like DeFi Llama. One of my favorite dashboards. But yeah, let's see. We're looking at 24-hour volume is again. But again, that also shows it's like 1.7 against 3.9. I have no idea, Alessio, yeah. Okay, it does say DEX. It does say DEX. Okay, well, you know what? Alessio, you know what? It's possible that some of the DEXs might not even be listed. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I will tell you this, Alessio. You can fake the volume on DEX Screener. Do you remember that? Do you remember when an arbitrage bot like ran through the PYREBNB side and like it just made it look like there was 200,000 in volume? You know what I mean? There was also that DEX called like Meme Box or whatever, and they would just like make it look like they had 5 billion in volume. Anyways, the fact of the matter is, and I know that everybody wants to now ask questions about whether or not we need to move to Sonic or something like that. I want you guys to understand something. Our marketing strategy has nothing to do with like getting the money on Phantom to come to PYRESWAP. Our marketing strategy is much larger than Phantom. That is like, what you're describing is like lemonade stand marketing. I can't believe you would insult me by thinking I do business this way. Yeah, do you guys think that's what I'm doing? I'm just going around the Phantom blockchain rattling the can? Like, I already know we have to do it bigger than Phantom. Like, you got what I mean? We didn't even launch on one chain. We didn't even launch on just one chain. Now, a lot of learnpyreswap.com is going to be focused on Pyre Phantom. Yeah, legitimately, it's going to be focused on Pyre Phantom. Yeah, like video number 5, pretty much everything will be kind of singularly focused, like tutorial material will become narrowly focused on Pyre Phantom. People can make the necessary parallels in their own brain to understand that it's also applicable to Pyre AVAX and PYREBNB. Does that make sense? Do you guys get it? Because right now, I think that due to the drama of Phantom and Sonic, I think now is the time to really go hard on the Phantom side. Make sense? But I want you to know I'm not marketing from inside Phantom. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to win any hearts inside Phantom. And Alessio, do you know why? Because Phantom doesn't like tomb forks. Yeah, like I've never been doing that. I stopped doing that before Genesis V1. Yeah. And Alessio, I'm doing it mostly just to make the simplicity for the new user. Like only like steer them towards one thing. And because Phantom, yeah. Oh well, Alessio, you might like it, but most people who are like Phantom natives, they don't want it. So the point being here is that I stopped doing that like before Genesis V1. I don't know why people keep thinking that like, oh, we need the money from Phantom. We're going to get money bridged to Phantom to bring to PYRESWAP. Do you guys get it? Like I have zero problem marketing this project to people who are hearing about the Phantom Opera for the first time. I feel that that is more successful and has been more successful than rattling the can inside the blue neighborhood. I'm just being honest. I'm not interested in like leaning on what's near me. That right there is kind of like a weak output. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you guys get it? Like, oh, I need my chain to like me. You don't. You don't. Did Harry Ye do that shit? Yeah. You don't have to do that shit at all. You do, like, again, you don't need support from the labs. You don't need that. That is what weak people feel they need because they don't believe in their own ability to get the job done. I'm just being honest. Does it help to get help? Yes. But you don't get help. Like, it's impossible to get help from everybody, right? So really, you want to, and Javery, again, there's plenty of reasons that helps with marketing because there's like association bias and things like that. But Javery, honestly, talking about video number 5 on learnpyreswap.com, it's literally going to go like this. I'll explain to you how video 5 looks, which by the way is what we call a tutorial close. Video number 5 is actually like 3 different ways to fund your MetaMask. This is really the main theme. Well, that right there was a project that was backed by Goat, and also like they were trying to just, you know what? I don't even know. By the way, it looks like that project, which by the way, Toon Plus got support from the chain, got support from Goat, and arguably their market cap is not that much bigger than ours right now because they died. I mean, I don't know. Like, do you guys get it? Like, oh, hey, look at all the support they got. Granted, we wouldn't die. We wouldn't die. But at the same time, let's put it this way. I don't think the chain was willing to take a second bet on another Tomb spinoff project. So I think Tomb Plus, they might have beat us to the punch. But I'm not. Do you think I lay awake at night crying about that? Yeah, like they chose to build something that was trash. I don't know. Like whatever. I'm not even here to trash that project. I'm here to prove my own, right? So video 5 is 3 different ways to fund your MetaMask. Okay? And believe it or not, we start off with here. Correct, Alessio. Yes, it was literally it was a prediction market with a coin that was illiquid. I don't even want to get started, okay? Like, yeah, like I don't want to talk about it. All right. 3 different ways to fund your MetaMask. And for those of you who don't know, you start off with a centralized exchange. Then you do it with what? Do you guys know? ATMs. Then you do it with gift cards. Did you guys even know about this? Do you guys know these 3 methods? You guys don't. So we're literally going to be doing a tutorial on, I think most people know how to do it with a centralized exchange, but we're going to also teach ATMs and gift cards because shout out to the people that are serious about being off the grid, right? Oh, is it? Wait. You mean the XUSD? Well, Alessio, I never got a chance to look at it. Yeah, I told him like, hey, I have to learn PYRESWAP. I have to build that first. Yeah, I also, yeah, Alessio, I didn't get a chance to look at it, so I never fully endorsed it. I could maybe fix it. I could fucking find a way to fix it maybe, but I literally I have to fix my own marketing first. Would you agree? You know what I mean? Like, I'll fix my own marketing, right? Go push interviews. Go tell stories. I think you guys are going to be, well, maybe not you guys, but I think that the people learning about this project through learnpyreswap.com are going to get blown away. But first of all, we literally teach 3 different ways to fund a MetaMask. Ways that you guys might not be aware of. And then, do you know what we do after the MetaMask is funded in these 3 different ways? Do you guys know what the 4th thing we teach? Go ahead. Yes. But also, can you guys guess? Can you guys guess what the 4th thing we teach is? Okay, Alessio, I don't know enough. Not even that. Look, it's bridging to Phantom. Yeah. The next thing we do is bridging to Phantom. We are literally teaching people from the I've never used MetaMask before position. So anybody who already does, they'll still watch this video just to learn how to fund it with a fucking gift card, because that right there is like a curiosity hook. Does that make sense? Does anybody here know how to fund the MetaMask through a gift card? Exactly. Yeah, so everybody will at least watch that part, right? And then we teach them how to bridge to fucking Phantom. And guess what? We don't need to fucking get anybody's support for this. Axelar Network is like, once they set up a bridge, they don't like turn it off. Even Layer Zero's bridge still works. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Even Sonic still has a bridge. You know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? Even Sonic is still like bridging, you know, Phantom is continuing to bridge to Sonic or whatever, right? The Metatraj bridge, right? So like even that bridge is still there. So we're teaching people how to bridge to Phantom. And do you guys know why that video 5 bridges to Phantom? Because Phantom's the hardest one. So if we teach them how to bridge to Phantom, we know they'll be able to figure out exactly, Javery, and that is the 6th part. Exactly. So even though we are making this tutorial built around bridging to Phantom, we know that if they can figure this out, they can figure out how to get to BNB and AVAX. Would you guys agree? Would you guys agree it's way easier to get to AVAX and BNB than to Phantom? Yeah, exactly. So if we give them, we give them 3 ways to fund their wallet, we give them 2 ways to bridge to Phantom, and we give them 1 coin to buy. It's easy as 3, 2, 1, you guys. 3, 2, 1. 3 ways to fund your wallet, 2 ways to bridge to Phantom, and 1 coin to buy. And then, by the way, video 5, I will give you this. Wake Sessions, I know that there are people that are AVAX and BNB focused, which is fine. But all I'm saying is why we teach to bridge to Phantom is because of how it's harder. Yeah, AVAX is easier to get to, let's be honest. AVAX, you know, it's way higher in the market caps now for sure. Does that make sense? And by the way, I don't want to spoil video 5 for you, but it literally starts off with me doing more of a technical tutorial like this, like kind of in a professor mode. But then, what happens is I walk off screen like this. And then the camera clips, Javery, the camera clips to me now being and entering the fantasy fiction world, possibly dressed differently. Possibly dressed differently. Yeah. And then Javery, literally right there, it says, before you watch the next video, make sure you've done everything in this tutorial. And by the way, in that tutorial, guess what? We're still only walking them through buying $5-ish of Pyre Phantom. But because the fact of the matter is once we've walked them through buying it once, they'll have the fucking, they'll have the know-how to buy at their discretion later. Make sense? Video 10 also does like a power close video, which I'm not going to explain right now, which is the last video on learnpress.com. But video 5, and I'll explain this again. Okay, do you guys want a little bit of a breakdown? Okay. Okay, so video 1 on learnparcel.com is 5's story. Now, I want you guys to understand, this first video is not the first video someone would see about this project. For them to arrive at video 1, they probably are getting directed there from a YouTube interview or a podcast or a Twitter space that I'm on. Make sense? So the first immersion to me is me going on an interview. These interviews will have me telling 3 to 4 memorized stories as opposed to the techno jargon bullshit I did in 2024. Does that make sense? These interviews are going to be rehearsed, memorized to the point where they compel and they hit and they convert. Because I have now read books on how to do that. Make sense? This story right here is, it has a point. And the purpose of this story is for you to understand what type of backstory the guy who says he's the best banker in Web3 has to have. This is the story that will illustrate for you why it would take more than one bullet to get me to quit. Okay? Like it will be crystal clear what this it will be crystal clear who the founder of this project is. It will all make a lot more sense. And most importantly, Five Story ends with the concept of investment analysis and banking being this missing piece. This missing piece to everyone's problem. Make sense? Because we're still gonna go and explain fundamental analysis as an aspect of investment analysis is something that it reduces your pain, it helps you avoid loss, and it helps you get richer. Like everything that people actually want, fundamental analysis, when it's conveyed and taught the right way, it does that. I don't need to exaggerate. Everybody you know who became a cajillionaire as an investor, they were fundamental analysis guys. Look it up. Okay? So Five Story is the exact portion amount of my backstory that helps you explain why I care so much. Videos 2, 3, and 4, these ones are about challenging false beliefs. So you could describe these as false belief stories. And I might have explained to you guys in the past, when it comes to 3 false belief stories, you need to first tell a story about the most common vehicle-based false belief. So for the first one, video 2, it would be a false belief story about crypto or not phantom. A false belief story about crypto, or a false belief story about DeFi, or a false belief story about banking. You know, it would be a story that, like, you might think that crypto is only meme coins and scams, but believe it or not, XYZ, right? You show examples of what you're trying to challenge them on as far as like an internal belief that would make them cross their arms. Do you guys understand? Videos 2, 3, and 4 are about getting people who have their arms crossed to uncross their arms. Does that make sense conceptually? 2, 3, and 4 are about crossed arms to uncrossing, right? So video 3 is a false belief that is internal to the viewer. So whether somebody thinks they're not smart enough, or whether somebody thinks they don't have enough time, or whether somebody thinks they don't speak English, this is about challenging that belief. So I can use some of you guys as examples, right? So guys I know that don't speak English or don't have enough time or don't think they're smart, I can say, well, actually, which one makes them lock in, Jay? That all depends. That all depends on who they are. Yep. Because it might be story 1. Story 1 might make them lock in. Yeah. And then it might also be story fucking 9 or 10. Yeah. You literally just keep hitting them until it's kind of like sifting sand through a sifter, I guess. What do you even call it? Strainer, right? So whatever shape they are, yeah, a granulator, yeah, whatever shape they are, that determines when they fall. Does that make sense? When they fall through the mesh, right? Because everybody behind, like, all you can do is make this like the best tool for the job. But even when you're sifting sand, right, there's always pieces that don't ever make it through. You know, that's okay. That's okay. The 4th video is the 3rd false belief, which is external. Now that could be Phantom Opera is dying, or the economy is too bad right now, or that has more to do with like an external or like environmental objection. Make sense? And it could be some of this is already written actually, but I'm always fine tuning it. And the point being here is that's examples, and you basically tell a story that's contrary to what they would believe. Make sense? Because all you're trying to do is get them from a place of rejection to consideration. Make sense? Like all they have to do is be challenged on one of the 3 things that would get them not to buy. Jordan Belfort, I think I talked about him in the announcement. He talks about these 3 areas where you need to move everybody to a 10, and that is trust in the product, trust in yourself, and trust in your organization, right? Which is a separate thing, but this is also like what gets someone to buy when they're prompted, right? So the first video right here is a little bit about both, right? Video 5 is the tutorial close. That's the one where we literally walk them through how to fund a MetaMask 3 different ways, 2 ways to bridge the phantom, and 1 token to buy, right? Video 5 is that 3, 2, 1 video, right? 3 ways to fund it, 2 ways to bridge it, 1 token to buy it, right? How great is that? It even is the shape of a funnel, right? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Anyways, video 6, 7, 8, and 9 are conceptual lore stories. And Alessio, that screenshot you took the other day, yeah, that is now a lot of that concept lore you guys have heard. Well, okay, you guys have heard concept lore that is not necessarily going on learnPyReswap.com, but will be other places. And videos 6 through 9 are effectively, I want to say it's like this right now. I want to say videos 6 and 7 are just based on fundamental analysis as it ties into economics, economics as it ties into scarcity, scarcity as it ties into supply and demand as it ties into price, and then price as it ties into inflation and deflation. Make sense? And if they can understand that, then they can wrap their heads around why they should buy the token, right? Really, after we walk them through buying $5 worth of it, after video 7, like in theory, they might just go buy more. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Because they will now have like a true conceptual understanding of the way the token behaves. You guys get what I'm saying? Videos 8 and 9 are actually more about the community side, like the community concepts. And it's meant to kind of address things like, how come projects die when they have good communities? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, why did this project die when the community was so lively before? Because I don't think anybody is actually honest in Web3 about that besides this project. No, not necessarily. No, but Jabri, well, yes, Jabri, in theory, we do talk about the factionalization and like why the factions matter. Yeah, so we do talk about that. So we will, for those of you who know, back in, I think it was 2023. Yeah, I think August of 2023, I was writing the Banneret and Chandler playbook for the first time. And it was like, I went through like 11 pages on the concept of community, right? Jabri, correct. And that is also going to be in the, that's also going to be in videos 8 and 9, like an introduction of that. And also because it's conveyed in storytelling, it'll be a lot more of like a curiosity prompt. Does that make sense? So a lot of these videos are not necessarily for the purpose of like selling them. It's for the purpose of making them now finally self-motivated enough to go research themselves. Does that make sense? Yet, like, again, you know, if you ever look at a headline for like something on the internet, that headline is not there to get you to buy the thing it's advertising. It's there to get you to click. Does that make sense? So when you want to think about marketing and advertising, you want to get really, really granular, to use that word you used, with the tiniest thing you need to get them to step towards you. And sometimes it's about saying something extremely bombastic. It's like, there's no way they believe that. It's like, well, it's for them to get one step closer to you and see what part of that is actually true. Make sense? Because like, it's like, there's no way that's true, so therefore I have to go investigate it, right? And then when they learn the truth, it's like, okay, so it is true, but then there is this cost or this downside. Then they're now in a new state of mind. Now they're weighing the cost against the benefit. Make sense? Because they're like, wow, there's no way that's true. But then again, once they learn, it's like, okay, so it was true, but they omitted something, right? They withheld something, right? How to tell when to sell. Crypto profits without crypto panics, right? But it doesn't really say that, you know, it's only ever profit, or there's never any panic, or you know, there's other types of context. You get what I'm saying? It's mostly about like, is there actually some, you know, You're entering the conversation taking place. Well, okay, that's cold funneling. We'll not talk about that. Anyways, do you guys have any questions today? Wait on. Okay, somebody wanted to ask me about like Phantom or Sonic. What was the, was it Moon Man? Okay, could we compare ETH to Ethereum Classic or Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash or ZEC to YEC? Okay, I don't even think about ZEC to YEC, and I think that was like, the context of doing that is way fucking different. Ethereum Classic, legitimately, that was done at like, I think a much earlier stage. Not like how they're doing it with Phantom to Sonic, which is like a completely different thing. Bitcoin Cash is not the same thing either because that's a fork, right? But the point being here is that those chains didn't die. And again, if we're talking about like, won't the price of Phantom crash? Apparently not if they are leaving a Metatraj bridge open. Does that make sense? Like, is that a Metatraj bridge? Because does everyone know how that works? Yeah, this effectively means that there's no way that the price of Phantom ever goes lower than Sonic ever again. Now, the market cap might contract, right? The horizontal dollar might get smaller, but it certainly doesn't mean that like the price of Sonic is going to go higher. Like that is entirely a Metatraj bridge. Exactly, Jeffrey. What they'll do is they'll just go through the dollar. They'll just Metatraj through fiat, you know? Like, you guys know how to do it, so I know you guys will be doing it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't take a genius to figure out Metatraj, right? Once you've done it once, and you're like, wait a minute. This token is now worth less, and I can sell it for the one that I can burn for? You know what I mean? In theory, they should have some kind of, like, limit on that. Like, that you can do, like, because we have a limit, right? You can only do so much per epoch. I have no idea if they have a limit. But they should have... They should have some kind of time limit. I don't know if they will, but it'll at least spread out these crazy fucking Metatraj shocks. Do you guys know what I mean? That's why we have a time limit. Like you just spread that out so it's not as fucking chaotic. Like it's still chaotic, but like it's not as chaotic, right? Anyways, I want you guys to know we're not like anywhere near down for the count. We're going to make it. Yeah, persistence is omnipotence. This project works. We have so many dozens of things that have raised the stakes on making this product succeed, and every single time it's happened, it's only made me want to continue more. For those of you who don't know, I'm the executive director of something called the John McAfee Foundation, and I'm still kind of punching with only my left hand here. After I'm building LearnPyReswap.com, I am working on a public-facing project using John McAfee's brand that will in fact be sponsored by PYRESWAP. That's probably more of like a February-March timeline. Make sense? But in theory, all types of people who have never heard of Phantom Opera will hear about PYRESWAP through John McAfee's brand. This year. Yeah. That's still maybe 2 to 3 months away, or 1 to 2 months. I don't fucking know. I'm not good at guessing math. Sorry, I'm not good at guessing time. But yeah, that's something else that will begin to get a new vector of attention. By the way, LearnPyreswap.com is a funnel we use to bring people into the witch faction. Would you believe that when it comes time to recruit people to the night faction, we actually won't be using that same website? Make sense? It might be learn2ohm.com. I don't fucking know. Yeah, learn2ohm, 3ohm, zohm.com. I don't fucking know. But that's what I mean. It has to be a different funnel. Now, believe it or not, there's actually 2 pains that we can target. When it comes to pain point marketing. The first one is how to tell when to sell. And another one is specifically for countries that are that have really bared the brunt of inflation. You can also just target people who have inflation pains. Does that make sense? Inflation from fiat. But this is a completely different website. Do you get what I'm saying? But this happens to be another this is the way to market. Does that make sense? Like depending on a different avatar you're targeting, you're gonna change the language. Depending on a different pain point you're targeting, you're gonna change the entire conversation with them as you bring them closer to you to sell the exact same thing, to end up selling them the exact same thing. Now, do you guys know who Seth Godin is? I'll just write his name on the board. Now, if I were to... Okay. If you look what this guy is. Yep. So he is, also known as FX9, is an American author and a former .com business executive. And the fact of the matter is that he used contests, online games, and scavenger hunts to market companies to participating users. Anyways, he also launched Squidoo. But the point being here, actually, they have almost nothing here. But Seth Godin specifically just writes about marketing. And if you look at this quote, he says, "People don't buy products." Can you guys see the screen? People do not buy goods and services. They buy relations, stories, and magic. And this right here has to be framed in the context that Seth Godin is talking to someone like me who in 2024 had to figure out marketing. Make sense? A lot of people have been making suggestions in my inbox about like launching new products to market PYRESWAP. And I know they mean well, but this is entirely the way that somebody who doesn't know anything about marketing thinks about marketing, because they're not removing themselves from the scenario. Do you guys know what I mean? When you guys talk about Sonic, the Phantom to Sonic migration, you guys are talking about it like it's the actual thing. But believe it or not, that's only real because enough people are looking at it. You're literally like looking at it like as if it's the thing. It's not the thing. It's the people talking about the thing. Do you guys understand? So like you can't launch a meme coin. Thankfully, we never did this. You can't launch a meme coin to market PYRESWAP because then you have to market a meme coin. Do you guys understand? That's not PYRESWAP. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Yeah, like market the thing you have, right? Don't try to like think of something else, right? Like a different product. Now, what you need to understand, is what is the solution to the problem your fucking avatar has. Like that's where you start. But anyways, which is where how to tell when to sell became that moment of epiphany for us. Anyways, we have click tracking now, clarity on how to tell when to sell, but it doesn't really it doesn't give you the conversion rate because some people click the button and then don't join Discord. You guys know what I mean? Like there's like that middle page. Anyways, we don't have like a shit ton of traffic there other than like, I don't know, a few dozen people a day, which is still pretty good considering like the total traffic to our actual DApp is something that rivals it. Do you guys get what I'm saying? But anyways, people do not buy goods and services. They buy relations, stories, and magic. And this is now the direction where we're leaning as hard as possible. Because every single obstacle in our way, by the way, I want you guys to understand, that's not a real obstacle. It's a story about the obstacle. It's the way that you guys think about the obstacles. I have heard some opinions in the chat, and I'm trying my best to like not even respond to them because they're so they are opinions that are incredibly, I think, bought into something that's not even necessarily like a tangible thing. I'm not gonna get specific there, but again, it, literally, you guys sound like what like. They're gonna stop support for Windows 10. What are we gonna do? Like, look at the tokenomics. They already show you that there's a Metatrosh portal forever. Do you guys know what I mean? the Metatrage alone guarantees volume on Phantom Opera. Do you guys remember how Metatrage works on the DEX? Who here remembers how Metatrage works on the DEX and what it does to volume? Does anyone remember? Think back to like, I don't know, June, I guess, or July. When was the last time Metatrage happened? July? June? It was a while ago, okay? What does the Metatrage do to the DEX? Do you guys know the parameter that it causes a spike in? Does anyone remember? Am I disconnected? Did we drop? We're going to end this pretty soon. I need to get back to story writing. Can you guys hear me and or see me? Okay. Oh, look, we have... thank you to everybody chatting on Kick today. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to whoever that is on Kick. I appreciate the commentary. We're very busy on Kick today. Anyways, for those of you who don't remember, I can't use green, right? The parameter that Metatrage causes a spike in is known as volume. Do you guys remember? Odin, so if there's a permanent Metatrage portal between Phantom and Sonic, and it's one way, like, think of it like this. This is almost like an insurance policy that Phantom Opera has. Because if anything's happened, it's that the people who are executives at Sonic have clearly not studied PYRESWAP. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Because if Phantom goes too low in price, right, and Sonic goes too high in price, this is immediately responded to with a fucking Metatrage event. And if the Metatrage happens over here, do you get what I'm saying? Right? Sell pressure and then buy pressure here until the loop is sewn shut. And that's volume. And if there's volume on the chain, that means there's money in validating the chain. Do you guys understand? On top of the fact that, like, Phantom is an elastic supply token. So, like, the supply is going to keep expanding in theory. I don't know if they voted on that in the DAO or whatever. But all that's the case now is it burns a little bit in gas and it burns to mint Sonic. Do you guys know what I mean? And if this is the case, it really means the price of one Sonic can't really go above the price of one Phantom. If it is what Fexer said it was in the screenshot. Okay? Anyways. I guess it looks like red candles can't kill Phantom, you guys. Red candles can't kill Phantom. Alright. Well, anyways, do you guys have any questions? Because I'm going to end the show now and get back to writing my magnum opus known as learnpyreswap.com. I appreciate you guys showing up today. I feel like today was a good one. I feel like 2025 is going to be a good one. And I feel like me telling the story before this project is only going to make the story of this project better. Because, I don't know, persistence is omnipotence. Like, this is it. This is the final thing for marketing. And then I go, by the way, we have 800 YouTubers. We have over 100 podcasters. And I can literally, before I even go interview them, I send them to learn PyreSwap. Do you get what I'm saying? So the media type people, they watch the Five story before they interview me. Do you guys understand why that's different? Maybe you guys don't, but it's okay. Like, you'll understand that them learning my story as a founder before they interview me is going to completely change the way that we have a dynamic in haggling about an interview. I'm not doing that shit anymore. Yeah, like Learn PYRESWAP is a system for onboarding new users, as well as getting new ambassadors, as well as getting more coverage, getting more promotion, and getting all of these kooky concepts into people's heads. It is, in fact, the final fucking keystone. Well, Wake Sessions, I would love Wake Sessions. I think that I should probably build like a focus group for learnpyreswap.com, because I think that a lot of people who, let's say, they read the docs and it makes no sense to them, I think learnpyreswap.com is going to be what causes the it's going to be what causes the understanding to show up in all of the people whose brains I have been underserving. Does that make sense, Wake? Yep. And I, by the way, Wake, yeah, you deserve a fucking medal for your patience, sir. Yeah. Yeah, this particular Discord now is what, like 8 years old? I'm kidding. But anyways, does anybody else have any questions? We're gonna win. We're gonna win. Again, I haven't even used the John McAfee tools yet, dude. Like, I mean, come on. I'm sorry it takes this long, but like, again, for whatever reason, I think we're timed just right for the perfect story, because the story of Phantom Opera, right? It can be even more interesting than what you guys think it's gonna be. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, what does this story need more than anything? Do you know what would even help Sonic? Some controversy to this. You know what I mean? Do you guys know what I mean? Because like, controversy sells. Do you guys know what I mean? Yeah, we could help Phantom and Sonic by being that beacon of controversy. Yeah. Anyways, I want you guys to have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow.